Hey everyone, and welcome back to Zero Escape 999, where so much has happened. If you're hoping for a detailed recap, well, there's too much information, and it would be full of spoilers anyway for what we have experienced. But I can tell you where we are right now, with Santa, June, Ace, and Lotus missing beyond the first 9 door. We rescued Snake, thankfully, from the coffin in the chapel with the 9 doors. And with Snake, Seven, and Clover, we have made our way to the library on the bottom deck of the ship. We are in search of the Neptune key, which will allow us to proceed further. Alright, if we want to get it through that door out there, we need the Neptune key. I say we split up and look for it. Okay. Very well.
Sure thing.
Good, let's get started then. We don't have a lot of time. Hurry. Alice sleeps in a small chamber past the Forest of Knowledge. As he began his search for reasons he didn't fully understand, Junpei felt those particular words float through his mind. We did hear that beyond door 1. No, not beyond door 1. We heard more details about Alice beyond door 1, but we heard those words, I believe, from 7. Beyond door 7. It was door 7, yes? Yes. Alright, we have a library with a lot to look through. So, starting off, there's a note on that table. Lights to the books. Huh, what does that mean? Interesting. Well, intelligence often hides itself in darkness. Have you ever thought about the pages of a book? Each page only sees, maybe 2 or 3 minutes of light before the reader is on to the next. They spend the rest of their lives locked in darkness, rather like myself. That's horrible. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining, not at all. I live in the darkness, yes, but that has given me the ability to catch the truths others might miss. I can hear the voices hidden in the darkness, you might say. Indeed, without reliance on one sense, you learn to use your others more effectively, so... He probably catches all sorts of things that other people just gloss over because he's paying more attention. This book is called, Mind Swap. You mean you could, change bodies with someone? Well, I guess I wouldn't mind switching bodies with my brother or Junpei too much, but I'd rather die than let Seven switch with me.
What the hell? Like I'd even want to swap bodies with a little brat like.
Hey, were you just imagining it? You were!
Shut up.
Yeah, well, he wasn't the only one. Alright, you two knock it off. Teletemporation and telepathy. What the hell is this one about?
Well, I know what telepathy is, but I've never heard of teletemporation.
It refers to having the ability to travel through time. I guess that makes sense. Tele, to travel or across. Tempor, temporal, time. Makes sense. Kitab al-Azif. Man, they've got some weird stuff here. I can't even pronounce this one. Who's that? Some famous guy? It's not a person's name. It's the name of a fictional book created by Abdul al-Hazred. And I apologize if I pronounce any of those names wrong. My tongue is definitely trained on US English. It's said to be one of the sources used in the creation of the legendary Book of the Dead, the Necronomicon. Oh, so these are all occult books and stuff. This one says The Golden Rabbit and the Moon on it. Does that mean it's about a rabbit that lives on the moon? Rabbits are pretty cute, but what's the moon stuff about? It's talking about the Judas tree that is said to grow on the moon, according to Chinese legend. Interesting. I have noticed that it seems like a lot of different cultures all have legends about rabbits being on the moon, which is interesting. Is it cultural cross-pollination, or did that idea come up independently from multiple cultures? I'm curious about that.
Why did mankind lose their tails? Junpei, do you know what this one's about?
I mean, it's about why mankind lost their tails, I'm assuming. Why are you asking me? I didn't even know we had tails to lose. Maybe you should ask a human with a tail. Junpei, have you never sat on your tailbone awkwardly and injured it? Or is that just me? Am I the only one with like weirdly sensitive bones? Mankind's ancestors most likely lost their tails as they were no longer useful and the nutrients required to grow them were better put to use elsewhere. At least that's what I read. I was rather young, I may have remembered it incorrectly.
Huh? Why the hell would a kid be reading a book like that?
Because he wanted to? Micrographia, huh? Ah yes, Robert Hooke's famous work, first published in 1665. He built a microscope and examined insects, inorganic substances, and other things too small to be seen in detail by human eyes. He then drew pictures of many of the things he'd examined and published them in a book. I'd hazard a guess that this shelf is concerned with natural sciences. Makes sense, but wow, Snake, you have a lot of knowledge on hand. Creatures of the South Sea, huh? I wonder if this one's got pictures of colorful fish and stuff. I mean, perhaps. Paleontology. This one's about fossils, right? Ammonites are pretty nasty looking.
This one says transition of extinct species.
We need to hurry it up or we're going to end up in the pages of a book like that. I sure hope not. Introduction to geology, huh? Thinking about the Earth, even when you're on the ocean. Kinda romantic in a way, I guess.
The theory of evolution. Heck, even I know this one. This is that Darwin guy, right?
Well, yes and no. Charles Darwin wrote a book called On the Origin of the Species. In it, he put forth his theory of evolution. Specifically, he put forth his theory of evolution by natural selection, which I think evolution was already kind of known by scientists by the time Darwin was publishing his works. Darwin was more investigating how different species came to be from a common ancestor and came to his conclusions about like environmental pressures encouraging evolution in different directions. Yeah, I remember that part. He called it natural selection. Exactly. Mother Nature.
Is that some sort of book about hippie chicks?
7, are you kidding me? Oh, probably not, except perhaps tangentially. It's most likely about environmental protection.
I was just trying to make a joke.
Dude, hippie chicks? Really? That was not a good joke, 7.
Theories of the Cambrian explosion? Did a bomb go off near somewhere called Cambria?
Wrong kind of explosion. Roughly 500 million years ago, during what is known as the Cambrian period, research suggests that the variety of living organisms increased by an order of magnitude. Why that happened is, however, still something of a mystery. There are a number of theories. This book is most likely a collection of them. Alright, well that's it for that shelf. We're not having much luck with finding anything so far.
Energy theory, huh? I don't even understand the damn title. Looks like this shelf's all science and technology.
Can we take a closer look at it? Nope. Okay, you're not gonna let us take a closer look. Alright, over here we have an obvious shelf to look at, but
are property values going up and out in space these days? Man, guess times are tough for aliens too.
This one says cosmic inflation. Wrong type of inflation, 7. Okay, top left is a shelf we can read. All that's here is Faraday's laws of electrolysis. I believe that's going to be about electrolysis in an electrolyte solution. These particular laws were set down by Michael Faraday. Ooh, I'd like to read that one personally. Oh, nope, definitely can't click that top right one. Quantum gravity. 7, do you have any idea what this is?
How about you start by using real words?
Well, 7, let's see. Gravity, I sure hope you understand what that is. It's the thing that makes you go down. It's the thing that keeps you on the planet. It's the thing that makes you go down, and it's what's pulling the ship under right now. Since, you know, the ship's going to be sinking soon, if it's not already. Quantum, 7, you might find it actually refers to indivisible objects, like I can't think of any like particular examples in like material objects because most things you can break down further, but I don't know, like numbers, like whole numbers are like indivisible. They're individual. Okay, you know what? Fine, whatever. You're clearly not going to get it if you don't know what gravity is.
Then maybe we'll get somewhere.
Alright, bottom right, theory of general relativity, huh? Oh, I know this one. That's Einstein, right? It is indeed. It is his theory of gravity. What's this? An overview of conformal field theory. Huh, well, it's a theory that posits an invariant quantum field where conformal transformation can take place. Snake, you are literally correct in your description. You are completely worthless in actually explaining it to them.
Knock it off with the science voodoo stuff. You trying to put me to sleep?
I stopped my studies in physics before I got to conformal field theory. I understand like the basic idea, but I'm not to a level where I could explain it. Supersymmetric string theory in 10-dimensional space-time. They're just talking about superstring theory. It's a theory of reality where, how to explain? It says that all elements of the universe are governed by the vibrations and harmonics of tiny supersymmetric strings. To oversimplify it a little bit, definitely to oversimplify it, I definitely studied it when I was doing my bachelor's in physics, but I studied it on my own time and not like to an actual like professional level that I probably wish I had. But the idea is, so like you can zoom in on atoms and see that they're made up of electrons and protons and neutrons, and you can zoom in on those protons and neutrons and find that they're made up of quarks. So if those quarks and the electrons are like the smallest individual particles that can exist, string theory is kind of the idea where if you zoom in really close to those, you see that they're like little closed loops of, I guess energy would be the best way to describe it, like little closed string-like loops of energy that are vibrating, and the way that they vibrate determines their properties. Then superstring theory starts to get into more expanding that in various ways to like try and explain more aspects of reality. In particular, it's trying to make quantum mechanics work with general relativity, because general relativity works really, really well, and quantum mechanics works really, really well, but they contradict each other in very specific scenarios like black holes. So superstring theory is kind of like an attempt to fix a lot of that, but it's at the point where it can kind of make any prediction it wants, so it's really hard to test it and like be able to say, okay, we have a test that will say whether or not string theory is a real thing, because it can kind of predict anything. It's got some issues, but it is also a fairly promising lead. At least it's a interesting mathematical experiment from what I've seen. Alright, last is the middle shelf. Well then, these books look a little bit off. What's the deal with these titles?
They're all just gibberish.
Hey, what if we like switch them around?
Switch them around?
Yeah, if we move them around, maybe they'll spell something. Oh, I get it. Yeah, heck, it's worth a shot. Alright, so what can we spell with these? Looking at each of these rows, there's only 4 letters. I can actually read this. I know the solution, but even if I didn't know the solution, I feel like it's kind of obvious how you need to rearrange them. Like, looking at each row, there's kind of an obvious word for each. Swap the O and the E, swap the N and the E. Open here, find bulb. How about this? Looks like putting those books in the right order opened this thing right up. Heh, that was a piece of cake. Hooray! You did it, Junpei! I guess that turned out well enough. So the letters from the title spell out, open here, find bulb. Well, we opened here and found a bulb. Fair enough. Alright, what else do we have? That's all of the bookshelves on this side. How about this side? Anything else? Energy theory, development of nanotechnology materials, interactions between shortwave energy and matter. What else have we got? Just listening to you read those titles is giving me a headache.
Can't say fancy technology stuff and I get along real well. Keep on talking about that stuff and you're gonna put me to sleep.
Alright, then you just take a nap. Or you can go look somewhere else. The black hole hypothesis, gamma ray astrophysics. I guess this bookshelf has an astronomy theme. Bottom right. Ooh, what do we have in here? A history of Buddhism. Look, this one says cultural heritage of Rome.
Bet that's gonna be serious inheritance tax.
I don't think there's enough continuity in the tax code from ancient Rome to present day. Pretty sure there have been many different governments, so probably has switched over a lot.
Permian creatures? Seems a little fancy for some kind of prehistoric critter. Not to mention most of them were likely reptiles and amphibians. Without hair, I can't imagine they have much of a need for perms.
Oh my god, I thought he actually knew something for once, but no. It was a bad wordplay. That's got nothing to do with this. What's Hellenism? I think it's something like a fusion of Greek and Oriental culture. No, I'm pretty sure that's just ancient Greek culture. Like the era, like the age of Plato, etc. Hellenism would have been named for Helen of Troy, who, the Hellenic Wars were fought over, the war with Troy, all that. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. A kid's book here? It looks like it's a children's story about Native Americans. Don't you think a random book like that is kind of suspicious? Maybe you ought to hold on to it. Sure, I guess we can check it out.
This one has some Native Americans on the cover. Hey, Junpei, take a look at this one.
Native Americans, huh? Maybe it's got some... Whoa! Oh, it's a pop-up book. Okay, interesting. Alright, next shelf. History of the medieval period. Maybe it's about Sir Lancelot? Isn't he just a story? I don't think you're gonna find a guy who didn't really exist in a history book. I don't know, maybe he was based on a real guy. Oriental history. Maybe this one's about China's 4,000 years of history or something. Hey, Chinese history and Oriental history aren't the same thing. This one's called History of the Western World. Well, I'd assume it's about European history. Yeah, just gonna leave it at that, Snake. Doesn't seem like you. Okay. Hey, look at this. This book's called Greek Mythology.
Damn, that thing's huge. Can't imagine anyone's actually read the whole thing. Pretty sure it just put me to sleep.
Yeah, there's been a lot of text preserved from ancient Greece. Oh, have we already been here? Oh my gosh, this is the one we were just at. So we were at the top one. Okay. Then last one for this section is bottom left. Definitely got something interesting going on here. Wait. No, we've already checked this shelf. Alright, then let's try over on this side. Okay, that's the shelf we were at a little bit ago. Then top over here. Oh, look, Seven, here's a book that's perfect for you. It's called Correlation of Muscle, Bone Density, and Bone Strength.
You're just saying that because it says muscle.
Yeah, she is kind of calling you a meathead, I think. Principles of Monkey Behavior, huh? I'd imagine that's a book describing praxeology studies on monkeys. Okay, Snake, you made it more complicated. Define praxeology. Monkeys are very similar to humans evolutionarily, so I imagine the research was fruitful. This book is just called Dissection. This bookshelf must be all medical books. From what I can tell, it sounds as though these books have been organized by genre. This library must be massive. I'm rather impressed by how well organized it is. It does seem like the books are pretty well organized. There's definitely like trends of themes in each section that we look at. Functions of the human brain, huh? I guess this is a book about the nervous system. I'd love to ask you to read it to me, but I don't think we have the time. I'm kind of curious about it too. There's gotta be a reason why people connect with each other, you know? I mean, I don't think we need to study the human brain itself to understand that fully. Or maybe not fully, but... This one, it looks just like that picture book from earlier. The one with the pop-ups.
You think they're part of a series of something? They do have the same binding.
Alright, another one of these books. There's a baseball on this one. Come on, Junpei, let's see what's in it. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say it's probably baseball. Whoa! Head. It says head. I don't like that. Human equilibrium theory.
Human anatomy.
Regeneration of internal organs. Lots of interesting books here. Ancient gladiators. What's this book doing here? Maybe they were researching human physical limits across history. I mean, perhaps.
Look, this one's called Recreation of Lost Human Functions. You think they're talking about if you, lose part of your body, then you could grow it back?
I don't think so. Maybe they're talking about reconstructing abilities that humankind once possessed. In other words, they may be talking about cultivating a sixth sense. Okay. Humans have way more than 5 senses. We just typically think of the 5 classical senses, but we also have nociception, which is feeling of pain. I hope that's how you say it. We have the sense of temperature. We have our sense of balance. We have a lot of additional senses beside the 5 classical senses. Please don't do this, Snake. I thought you were smart. Dissection Atlas, huh? This whole shelf is full of medical books. Lovely. And we're back to the start. Alright, well then. We've gotta... Wait. No, we're not yet back to the start. This is the start. We haven't checked out this section. There are so many books to check out. And we are finding things, so it is fruitful, but... Automated robotic assembly line techniques. Huh. What's that? Some sort of comic book? Clover, really? Jeez, I guess boys really like that stuff, huh? No, you're thinking of a different sort of robot. This book is talking about automated machinery that's used to build things like cars. Yeah, this is not a mecha manga. It's not Gundam.
What's that one called?
It says Foundations of DNA and Genetic Engineering. Ooh. Communication and Computer Science, huh? That's a pretty generic title. To be honest, it's so vague I don't really know what it might be about. Really? Really? Communication and Computer Science. Okay, I guess that is fairly vague. I can at least get a vague sense of what it might be about, though. An overview of photochemistry. I think whoever set this up wanted us to see the cover, not the spine. Let's look at it, okay? Huh, looks like there's a whole lot of space behind these books. Look, Junpei, I think there's something hidden behind the books. There is. We got a second light bulb. All right, then. And hang on, that was the bottom. No, that was the top left shelf. So we got 3 more to take a look at. This book is called Principles of Monkey Behavior. Oh, did we already look at this shelf? We did, okay. Then up here next. Mind swap. Okay, this is overlapping then. So that looks to be all of the books we can check out for now, at least up here. So I think we are done with the upper floor. A lot of reading we've done, but nope, not the file. We did find some items, so we did make some valuable progress. 2 light bulbs and 2 pop-up books. So then, next time on Zero Escape 999, we're heading downstairs to see what lies in the second half of the library, so we can get out of here and find that Neptune key. I'll see everyone next time for that.